called him the very second everything began. But hold on, if Mikey's back was turned, calm, spotless, and walking away in that footage, how does that story make sense? The details just don't line up. Now, people are saying that the whole covered in blood story might have been exaggerated to make Mikey look like a hero instead of the bystander everyone saw on camera.
And I'm watching. The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray." It was okay, son. He had his wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him.
It's wild. One story screams panic and chaos, while the actual footage shows cold calmness and zero contact. So which version are we supposed to believe? Right now, the truth feels buried under too many convenient half stories, and fans aren't letting it slide. Reports said Charlie was struck near the neck, but here's the twist. Multiple eyewitnesses have already spoken out saying that just isn't true. People who were right there, close enough to see everything, confirmed that Mikey never had a drop of blood on him. None. And honestly, that checks out. How could he have when he walked away before Charlie even lost balance and never came back to help afterwards? The footage doesn't lie. It backs that up completely. So now the internet's demanding answers. Why add such a dramatic detail when it clearly doesn't match what's on video? Why would Pastor Rob McCoy, a respected public figure, double down on something that can be debunked in seconds? Something about this story feels carefully crafted, and everyone's starting to wonder why. Was this all meant to sway public sympathy? To make Mikey look like a shaken witness instead of someone worth questioning? Because honestly, that's exactly how it's starting to feel. But just when you think things can't get any weirder, they do. Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, suddenly stepped in with her own version of events, and it only made everything messier. She claimed she was the one who got that call from Mikey right after it all went down. Now we've got two completely different stories, one from Pastor Rob McCoy and one from Erica Kirk. And neither of them line up with each other or with what the footage clearly shows. Then on September 21st, the New York Times dropped an interview with Erica that threw even more gasoline on the fire. Her words didn't clear the air. They made it cloudier. According to that interview, Erica said she was sitting in her mother's hospital room in Phoenix at exactly 11:23 a.m. when her phone lit up with a familiar name. Mikey McCoy, her husband's longtime assistant. She said that the moment she saw his name appear, she instantly felt something was terribly wrong, even before he spoke. Moments later, she claimed she heard Mikey's panicked voice yelling through the phone. Words she said still haunt her to this day. But here's where everything completely unravels. Both Pastor Rob and Erica swear Mikey called them right after the incident, just seconds apart. But that's impossible. The timeline doesn't match, and the footage doesn't support either version. So now the question burning through every comment section is simple. Who really got that call first?
And that's when the great Mikey McCoy showed up. Actually, he was there just before that happened.
That would only make sense if it was some kind of group call. But neither Erica nor Pastor Rob has ever mentioned that detail. So how could they both have supposedly received the same urgent message at the exact same time? And to make things even stranger, their versions don't even match. Erica says Mikey yelled, "He's been hit," while Rob swears Mikey told him Charlie was struck near the throat. Two completely different lines, two totally different tones, yet somehow we're supposed to believe it came from one single phone call. Something's not adding up here. Then there's the detail everyone keeps replaying. In the footage, Mikey lifts his phone straight to his ear without ever dialing a single number. No tapping, no scrolling, no thumb movement, nothing. Just straight up to his ear. And that tiny action might actually be the biggest clue of all, because if Mikey wasn't calling out, then maybe, just maybe, someone was already calling him. And if that's true, everything we've been told about that call suddenly needs a whole new look. That's when TPUSA finally fired back, and they're not holding back either. Their spokesperson, Andrew Covey, jumped in to defend Mikey McCoy, saying people are twisting what really happened. Covey insists Mikey wasn't calm or suspicious at all. Just stunned. According to him, Mikey only covered his ears because the sudden loud burst left him disoriented, shell-shocked, and reacting instinctively to the chaos around him. But online, nobody's convinced. They've seen that clip too many times to believe it was just shock. Covey went on to defend Mikey even further, saying he was just following protocol. According to Covey, Charlie had personally instructed Mikey to call Erica first and then reach out to his father, Pastor Rob McCoy if anything serious ever happened. Supposedly, Mikey was only doing what he'd been trained to do, keeping everyone informed, not hiding or scheming, just a loyal assistant caught off guard and shaken by the chaos around him. But hold up. That explanation doesn't really hold water once you line it up with everything else. If Mikey was only following instructions, then why did Pastor Rob publicly claim his son was covered in blood at the scene? That dramatic detail doesn't fit anywhere in the footage or in Cubby's just doing his job version of events. So now everyone's asking the same question. Who's actually telling the truth here?
This is a extremely disgusting attack. And I can speak to that because I was there when it happened and I was next to Mikey when it happened. And what I can say is, I can't say every single thing that happened, but I want to talk about this specific narrow thing. That the shooting occurs. I am next to Mikey. Both of us hear a loud crack. We both turn, we both see Charlie who has been shot. Both of us, I think at about the same time, realize that that means there is a shooter who is on the scene. And you just hear the crack, so you don't know, did it come from far away? Did it come close? Is there a mass shooter unfolding right now? So I and him both had the reaction of, let's get out of here before we're both shot. That is not us abandoning Charlie. Charlie had a security team. They all leapt immediately into action. And I'll never forget what I saw because it was clear in the moment that he was profoundly freaked out. What I'll always remember is the way his lip was quivering, which I'd never seen before. And you very rarely see from someone that he was freaked out. And then I think he literally said to me, I might be imagining this, but I think what he literally said was, he was looking around, and then he says, I need to call Erica. And then he takes his phone, and he begins calling Erica. I put that phone away, and then he immediately calls his dad. He calls Rob McCoy, and he says, Dad, someone shot Charlie. You need to call all of your pastor friends. Charlie was hit. We need everyone to pray.
Was Pastor Rob just emotional and exaggerating what he thought he heard? Or is there something deeper, something carefully hidden behind all these conflicting statements? The contradictions are stacking up fast, and people online are starting to wonder what and who is really being protected here. Because let's be real, there's one glaring problem nobody's explaining. Mikey McCoy couldn't have had any real information to share in those first few seconds. He never turned around, never checked Charlie's condition, never looked back once. So how could he possibly know what had happened? Unless, and this is what's got the internet buzzing, he already knew something before it all went down. That's the question that's lighting up every comment section. And that theory alone just cracked this whole story wide open. If Mikey somehow knew what was happening without even looking back, then everything changes. Was it intuition? Was someone feeding him info through that call? Or was it something far more deliberate? Nobody knows yet, but the deeper people dig, the stranger it all gets. The internet's officially gone full detective mode. Timelines, audio clips, screenshots, all being pieced together like a digital crime board. And just when the dust started to settle, Erica Kirk's first public speech after losing her husband added a whole new twist. Instead of focusing fully on her grief, she took a deep breath, smiled, and gave a glowing shout out to none other than, you guessed it, the amazing Mikey McCoy. Viewers couldn't believe their eyes. Why mention another man with a smile during such an emotional speech about her late husband? It instantly rubbed people the wrong way. That one tiny smile became a viral talking point, dissected, zoomed in, and reposted everywhere. Some called it misplaced gratitude, others flat out called it a red flag. And just when you thought it couldn't get more bizarre, Turning Point USA host Frank Turek jumped in during a recent interview, calling him the great Mikey McCoy. That line alone blew up across social media. People are asking, what's really going on here? Why is Mikey suddenly being celebrated like a hero when the footage, the stories, and the so-called facts don't line up at all? Something about this praise feels staged, and everyone's starting to sense it.
I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
The internet's completely hooked. This story's spreading like wildfire. Speculation's everywhere. But one explosive theory is now taking center stage. People are starting to believe that Charlie Kirk might have been betrayed from within by the very same people who built their fame, money, and reputations off his name. This growing theory suggests that loyalty inside his circle quietly turned into pure ambition, and that those closest to him were already positioning themselves for control long before that chaotic day even hit. And when it comes to Erica, things start looking downright suspicious. Online sleuths are pointing out how effortlessly she seemed to step into leadership mode right after the tragedy, like she'd been preparing for that moment all along. The timing? Way too clean to feel accidental. It's like every piece slid into place just a little too perfectly. And now, there's one viral post on X, formerly Twitter, that's absolutely blowing up, getting reposted, analyzed, and debated nonstop. People are calling it the thread that finally connects all the missing dots, from the strange calmness in Mikey's behavior to the oddly timed praise Erica and others gave him afterward. And here's the kicker. That viral post drops a straight-up bombshell. It claims Turning Point USA allegedly morphed into a money funnel and influence trading operation behind closed doors. According to the thread, power wasn't just shifting, it was being orchestrated. If even a fraction of what it says is true, then this isn't just workplace drama. This could explode into one of the biggest internal scandals the movement's ever seen. Charlie had finally started connecting the dots. He realized something dark was happening behind the scenes, and he was reportedly gearing up to expose it all. Sources say he was preparing to go public, ready to reveal just how deep the ties between the organization, its donors, and a network of political power players truly ran. But here's the twist that's got everyone reeling. That viral post claims most of the top donors and high-ranking staff were already in on it. If that's true, then Charlie's sudden shift wasn't just inconvenient, it was dangerous. His change of heart, his refusal to play along, and his cryptic public comments would have made him a major threat to everyone protecting the system. It's said that his growing independence shook the foundation of the entire operation, and some people close to him didn't take it lightly. Now, the internet's asking the question that no one at Turning Point wants to hear. Did Mikey McCoy and Erica Kirk know more than they're admitting? Were they really just bystanders caught in the storm, or were they already part of something deeper? Something that required controlling the story once things spiraled out of control? Because if Charlie truly was planning to blow the whistle, then the calm faces around him might not just be grieving, they might be protecting secrets that were never meant to see the light. Right now, everything's still speculation. But the deeper people dig, the harder it is to ignore how every major name in this story